How is it going, everyone? Today I'm here with my WWE Evolution 2018 pay-per-view. Of course, Evolution was the first ever all-women's pay-per-view event that took place live on the WWE Network as well as pay-per-view tonight. And right away, coming out of Evolution, right from the get-go, I see a lot of mixed reviews. I see a lot of people that enjoyed it, loved it, thought it was great. I saw a lot of people that didn't like it, thought it was terrible, and that was a horrible show, just hated it. Me, on the other hand, I like to say I'm kind of in the middle. I thought it was like an goodish show. I don't know. It's a weird show for me because there are elements of the show that I enjoyed. I thought there was 3 great matches, but there was some stuff on the show that I hated and didn't enjoy at all. So it's weird. Like, even though to me the good definitely outweighs the bad, there's still, it wasn't enough for me to sit here and say it was a great show, to be perfectly honest. Like, even though there is a match through contender on this show, that's, one of the matches on the show were that good. I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it enough for me to sit there and say, like, God, that was a great show. Did I enjoy it enough to say that was a good show? Yeah, I can sit there and say that, but I don't know. I can't come to, I don't feel comfortable with myself saying that it was a great show because I honestly didn't feel it was a great show, even though there were great matches. And I don't know. I mean, the show definitely should have been cut in time. Like, there is no reason why the show should have been over 3 hours. You can definitely tell they're adding these video packages and all these things and prolonging after post-match stuff just to extend this show to go longer, which to me made no sense. I thought it definitely didn't do any favors for the show and didn't benefit from it. So I don't know why they felt the need to do that, to drag it on longer. But I don't know. I mean, for the first ever women's pay-per-view, like I said, I thought it was a good show, but I just can't bring myself to say that it was great. Things I did like, though, the stage was different. It was a different stage. It definitely had an NXT TakeOver feel to it. You can definitely tell it had that, Triple H feel, of course, where, like, the stage lights are off during matches, and it's a very dimmed, dark crowd during the show. So you definitely tell it has that Triple H feel to it. But also had the house show feel to it, because, like I said, it had that, only you can only see people in the front row, and then the ring. That's all you saw that was lit. There was no barricade. It was just guardrails with the WWE cover over it. So it definitely felt like a low-budget show, but it was different and unique, and I liked it. So that was a good thing. But at the same time, like the lights being so dark got really annoying after a while, because, like, why aren't you showing the crowd? To me, part of the, I mean, I understand you want the focus to be in the ring, but to me, at the same time, you have to involve the crowd, which the crowd played a huge part in the show, and I do think that might have influenced some people's opinions a little bit, because the crowd was red hot for, like, the first half, and they were still pretty hot towards the end. But man, the first couple matches, this crowd were losing their minds for it. They were absolutely awesome. I give the crowd credit for how they were. They were really, 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 really well. But I don't know. I just felt like they should have expanded the lights. Like I said, I just thought it was too dark at times. And I understand the focus wants to be in the ring, but they should have expanded it to the crowd so you can see the people there instead of having people assume that there's no one there because the lights are all turned off. I don't know. But yeah, it was a good show, different vibe to it. So I like that in that capacity. We did have the 1 hour kickoff show, 1 hour prior to the pay-per-view, which didn't feature anything. It's pretty much like a red carpet special, so there really wasn't anything on the kickoff show at all. The show opened up with a performance from Nita Stratus, as well as the lead singer from Hailstorm, which I thought was a nice touch. Again, Triple H TakeOver vibe, because Triple H likes to do those performances at TakeOver, so there you go, the TakeOver vibe right there. So that was a great opening performance right there after the video package. And of course, the first match on the show was Trish Stratus and Lita taking on Mickie James and Alicia Fox with, of course, Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss coming out to introduce her team. Didn't like this match at all. I actually hated it. I thought, I'm not expecting Lita and Trish Stratus to look fucking amazing. I wasn't expecting them to go out there and be smooth and crisp and like they have in South Wrestling, in the past 12 years. But it was almost tough to watch. At least Lita. I was not really into anything Lita was doing. Right, the match starts off with Mickie James and Lita. They tie up. Lita gets the upper hand. Head scissors. Corners. Alicia Fox. When Alicia Fox is tagged in. Trish Stratus tags in. Lita and Trish try to do the poetry motion, and Lita does it, and she literally gets no air. She just like steps on Trish Stratus and goes immediately down. And then you have Renee Young commentary going, "High risk!" Like, she didn't even jump. She just, like, fell. Like, it came off terribly, but whatever. Trish Stratus looked good in the match, at least. She didn't look as bad as Lita, in my opinion. The face-off between her and Mickie James was great. The crowd losing their mind. That the interaction they had was great. It was awesome to see Trish Stratus hit a Frankensteiner from the top, from the second rope on the Mickie James. That was a great spot right there. And then, Lita got the hot tag, ran roughshod for a little bit. Was setting up the moonsault onto, I believe, Mickie James, but Alexa Bliss pushed her off the top rope when the referee wasn't looking. So Lita just gets knocked down, and then of course, Alicia Fox and Mickie James corner her for a little bit. Alicia Fox hits a, Northern Light suplex on Lita. And then, of course, Trish Stratus once again saw a tag. Hits a Stratusfaction onto Mickie James for the 1, 2, 3, essentially. But they fucked it up because the referee goes 1, 2, 2, stops because Alicia Fox, the one job she has in this match, fucks up. She doesn't break the pin up on time, so the referee just stops counting, and Alicia Fox breaks it up about 2 seconds later. Terrible spot right there. Just referees are instructed, from what I know, to count it like a shoot. So the referee to stop for no reason was stupid. If anything, Mickie should just put her shoulder up when Alicia wasn't there. So that was just Alicia Fox. I can go on all day about how fucking terrible she is, but I'm not going to. Then this sets up a twist of fate from Lita. Lita hits a moonsault on both Mickie and Alicia Fox, and then chick kick from Trish Stratus to Mickie James for the 1, 2, 3. So just not a good match. Mickie James was the MVP by far. Her selling was great. She was really the only consistent person in the match in terms of the work rate. So Mickie James definitely gets 2 thumbs up because she was absolutely great in this match. Like I said, MVP. Besides that, didn't enjoy it. Didn't like this match at all. From there, I'm going to go to the 20-woman Battle Royal, of course, with the winner earning a future Women's Championship match in the future. Each competitor got their own entrance, so, again, prolonging the show's time because there's no reason why else a Battle Royal should have their own entrances if you weren't trying to extend the time of the show. This was actually fun. I enjoyed it. The Iconics came out last, cut their promo, and in predictable fashion, they were the first 2 eliminated, so pointless for them to even be in the match. But I thought it was fun. Ivory looked great. Michelle McCool dominated the match. He had some great spots. Asuka and Ember Moon had a stare down, which led to Asuka being eliminated by Ember Moon. You had a stare down with what the hell are their names? Tamina and Nia Jax. My mind went blank once again. Where I didn't even catch his ass first until I saw the gif afterwards, where they had a stare down, did the Roman Reigns ooh ah, and then kind of like took out everyone, and then they had another stare off where they went at it with each other. So that was a great spot. Carmella did the dance break with the floss with Molly Holly during the middle of the match. So I thought that was pretty hilarious. So it was a fun battle royal. People got their stuff in. There were kind of multiple spots happening at once. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville looked really good as well. Especially Sonya, she was just dominating. And then of course, Mandy ended up eliminating her by surprise. So I thought those two definitely stood out as well. And I just thought, for the most part, everyone looked really good. And it was a very fun battle royal. Definitely better than the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, if you ask me. And I definitely enjoyed it. And then, of course, the match came down to Ember Moon and Nia Jax. They were the final 2. They tried to pull a Big Show in the Rock finish where Ember Moon tried to, head scissors Nia Jax out of the ring. And then out of nowhere, Zelina Vega comes out and tosses Nia Jax over, thinking she threw them both out, which I didn't even know Zelina Vega wasn't eliminated. So she's kind of celebrating like she won. Then, of course, Nia Jax appeared, just threw her out. So Zelina Vega came off like a complete fucking idiot. And then Ember Moon tries her hardest to eliminate Nia Jax. Doesn't work. Nia Jax throws her over the top. Oh, no, she threw Zelina Vega. Or was it Zelina or Ember? I think it was Zelina. She threw over when she eliminated her. She threw her over the rope, and she threw her directly into Tamina's face. So, good job, Nia Jax. But then Nia Jax ended up, I believe, just headbutting Ember Moon, just throwing her over. She just ended up tossing Ember Moon. So, Nia Jax wins. Who the fuck cares? I definitely don't care to see Nia Jax win. So, and of course, she's sobbing like crazy, which, I know people get emotional, but it seems like after every match she wins, she just bawls her eyes out. So, she wins, cuts a promo afterwards saying it doesn't matter if it's Ronda or Nikki, she's winning the title back soon. So, yay, Nia Jax in the title scene again. Very happy about that. But yeah, besides that, very fun Royal Rumble. Battle Royal, thought it was fun for what it was, and I enjoyed it. I thought everyone looked good for the most part. From there, we go to the 2018 Mae Young Classic Finals. Of course, Toni Storm taking on Io Shirai. This was a very good match here. I thought it was a great, 10-minute sprint because it was very short. I was kind of let down how short this match was, but it was very fun. There was some, grappling at the beginning, some head scissors, not really too much going on, and the match kind of dumped out to the outside with Io Shirai hitting a moonsault off of the ropes on the outside, which I thought was a great spot. Back on the ring apron, Toni Storm hit a German suplex, which looked absolutely awesome. So that was a great spot. Back in the rings, Toni Storm even hit a Storm Zero at one point, but Io Shirai kicked out of it, so that was a huge shock. They went at it back and forth for a little more. Io Shirai was looking for the win, but Toni Storm was able to kind of knock her loopy. followed up with another Storm Zero for the 1-2-3. So Toni Storm defeats Io Shirai to win the 2018 Mae Young Classic. And like I said, I thought it was a great sprint. You know, it was a very short match for the stuff that got in that time period, though. They got some great spots, and I thought it was a very fast-paced, great action match. So I was very happy Toni Storm won as well. I was really hoping she would win, and she definitely deserved the win as well. So very happy about the result. Very happy with the match. Like I said, I just kind of wish it went on longer than it did. So that was fun. You know, that was a fun match, especially with the ending. I was really a huge fan of the finish with Io Shirai going for the moonsault, and instead of just putting her knees up, she like straight up like booted her in the face. Like her feet went straight into her face in the moonsault. Oh, that was great. That's what knocked a loopy into the Storm Zero victory. So great match. Just wish I got more time. From there, I'm going to go to the 6-woman tag team match. Of course, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Natalya taking on the Riot Squad. Wasn't a fan of this match. You know, from the beginning, it was pretty much the faces getting the upper hand. Then, of course, the Riot Squad cut Bayley off and pretty much just worked over Bayley for a long time. Sasha Banks got the tag. They worked over Sasha for a long time. Looked like, you know, Sasha finally got out of it. Looked like they're going to win. It was, you know, the backstabber followed by the Bayley to belly onto Ruby Riott. But then, you know, Liv Morgan pushed Sasha Banks into Bayley. And Bayley sort of like she just got destroyed or something. Like she got a steel chair to the back. I don't know why she sold the way she did. But it was just, I don't know, it was just a very boring match to me. And Liv Morgan looked pretty impressive. She probably the best she has since being called up. But I don't know. I wasn't digging this match. I like the finish though with Liv Morgan getting a powerbomb from Natalya, which Natalya locked in a double sharpshooter at one point, but she locked it on to Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan. But Liv Morgan was a legal person. She hit a code breaker Natalya, which I thought was a finish, but Natalya kicked out. But then Natalya hit a powerbomb on Liv Morgan, followed by a elbow drop from Bayley, followed by a horrible frog splash from Sasha Banks for the 1-2-3 win. So I don't know, a very botchy match as well. Sasha Banks just completely fucked up a dive over the top rope. She just came up so short. It was a horrible spot. So a lot of botches in this match, to be perfectly honest. Mainly from Sasha and Bayley. Mainly from Sasha, of course. I don't know, I didn't like it. I thought it was whatever. Sasha, Bayley, and Natalya get the win. Who cares? Didn't really do much for me. And then, of course, we go from... This is where the show picks up, if you ask me. We have the NXT Women's Championship match. Of course, Kairi Sane defending against Shayna Baszler. This match is 10 times better than the TakeOver Brooklyn 4, if you ask me, their TakeOver Brooklyn 4 match, if you ask me. I didn't enjoy that match. I thought the match was just like whatever. But this was way better. It was very competitive, too. It was very back and forth. I thought both women looked great. You know, Kairi Sane was showing an aggressive side. And Shayna Baszler just not backing down. She was able to ground, you know, Kairi Sane, do the whole thing where she locks in her elbow and just stomps on it. They fought on the outside. You know, Kairi Sane threw in the steps, looked for the elbow drop, like the sliding elbow drop right there, but Shayna Baszler cut her off. Kairi Sane got the upper hand at one point, just really firing up and really laying her hits in. At one point, she was even like begging, you know, Shayna Baszler to hit her harder, which I thought was just great storytelling with her, just like really egging it on. And then, of course, you know, looked like Kairi Sane was set up for the win, was going for the insane elbow drop, but Shayna Baszler rolled out of the ring. She then hit a high cross from the to the outside on Shayna Baszler. Threw Shayna Baszler into the crowd, which she actually threw her into Jasmine Duke and Marina Shafir, which right away I knew they were getting involved. You know, Kairi Sane tried to get back in the ring. Jasmine Duke tried to grab her by the hair, and then, you know, Kairi Sane kind of fought her off. Threw Shayna Baszler back in the ring, went back for the top rope for the insane elbow drop, but then Marina Shafir would get involved, but then Kairi Sane would kick her down. Shayna Baszler knocked her down into the clutch, but then they tried to recreate the Brooklyn 4 finish where Kairi Sane went over and tried to pin her, but Shayna Baszler kicked out. Shayna tried to roll her up. Didn't work out, and then the referee wasn't looking. Jasmine Duke ended up hitting Kairi Sane one more time, which, you know, allowed Shayna Baszler to lock in the clutch one more time in the middle of the ring. Dead center, Kairi Sane passes out, and Shayna Baszler is your brand new NXT Women's Champion, the first ever two-time NXT Women's Champion, might I add. Great match, like I said. Really enjoyed it, especially with the involvement of Shafir and Duke. I know some people didn't like it, they thought it was overbooking, but I thought that was a great way to introduce themselves onto NXT TV because they haven't appeared on TV yet. So I thought that was a great way to insert them onto television and maybe do a 6-woman tag at TakeOver War Games next month. Who knows? But I definitely enjoyed the match. Like I said, I thought it was a lot better than the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 match, and I just thought the chemistry they had and the storytelling they had was a lot better. So, great match. Shayna Baszler surprisingly winning, which was a huge shock to me. I wasn't expecting her to win. Was great too. So, you know, Baszler and Sane, at this point, match of the night if you ask me. And then we go to what was match of the night, and like I said earlier in the video, for me personally, a match of the year candidate, because this is absolutely a fantastic match. The last woman standing match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Becky Lynch defending against Charlotte Flair. These two women went out there and beat the holy piss out of each other, and I loved absolutely every second of it. Fantastic last woman standing match. I thought they utilized the weapons greatly. They had a lot of great spots. The one complaint I do have, though, is miscues, because Charlotte fucking sucks. She missed spots. She fucked up spots. She was the only negative thing about this match, honestly, was Charlotte. She just did, I don't know, like, I can rant about Charlotte all day, but, I mean, to her credit, she did fine for most of the match, but then there were just spots where she just completely fucked up, and I'm not going to get into that, but it was a great match. Right from the get-go, they were kind of just, you know, not chain wrestling, but kind of just like pushing each other. You know, Charlotte pushed her down, and Becky was down for the count, and Becky was like, really? And she quickly got back up, and they started brawling some more. Very quickly in the match, Becky Lynch introduced a kendo stick, just started wailing on fucking Charlotte Flair, and then they decided to throw a bunch of chairs in the ring for whatever reason. So they threw about 55 chairs in the ring, don't know why. They ended up utilizing those chairs, thankfully, though. They did some spots onto it, like I believe Charlotte did a back to belly, belly to back suplex on the chairs on Becky Lynch. So I thought that was a great spot right there. They introduced some tables, introduced some ladders towards the end of the match as well. Table spot was hilarious because Charlotte went to, so she set up Becky onto the ladder, and she goes up for the moonsault, and immediately I can tell she's gonna fucking miss because the table is way too close to the ring, and if you know Charlotte, she almost misses all her moonsaults. And she goes to the moonsault, and of course she fucking misses. She hits the tail end of the table, knocks over the table with Becky. Just, it's like, come on, Charlotte. You miss your moonsault like 95% of the time anyways. I don't know why you thought that was a good idea. So Charlotte puts the tail back up, throws Becky back on it, ends up hitting a senton actually, which surprised the fuck out of me. I thought maybe she'd do like a splash, but she did a senton to the table and Becky, so that was a cool spot right there. Introduced a ladder, which Becky just absolutely dumped Charlotte on the ladder, which looked absolutely painful. And then, you know, at one point, Charlotte actually used a ladder to put in Becky's legs and lock in the figure 4, which, of course, bridged into the figure 8. Becky got a chair after Kyoto kicked the chair towards Becky. Becky, the chair, started wailing on Charlotte to let go of the hold. At that point, Becky tried to say, fuck it, and leave. And then Charlotte said, oh, hell no. She attacked Becky Lynch. They started fighting the crowd. They got towards back to the ring area. And, of course, they set up a ladder. And then Becky set up Charlotte on the table, did a huge leg drop off the ladder through the table on Charlotte for a great spot. But of course, Charlotte, got to make Charlotte look fucking fantastic. Got to make her look strong. Got to make her look just amazing. So Charlotte gets up. Well, okay, the funny part is Charlotte doesn't even get up. And this is another thing that kind of bothered me. She gets up. No, she's not even up. She's on her knees at 9. Kyoto's at 9, the referee. And then he just goes, he's like, whatever, because miscommunications. The whole thing was Charlotte was egging on Becky to attack her to break the count, but of course Kyoto stopped the count before Becky attacked her, so it came off very shitty. Becky attacks her, buries her with all these like the chairs and whatever. She's just burying Charlotte literally, and then of course another count, and of course at 9 he wants to stop again because it was clearly another fucking 10 count, but of course Charlotte's up. And of course, Charlotte looking pissed. She's all mean. She spears the fuck out of Becky at ringside, beats the fuck out of her for a little bit. And I'm like, oh, here we fucking go. Here comes fucking Superwoman Charlotte, you know. And then Charlotte sets up a table on the outside, and she sets Becky on the table. So it looks like she's going to do the moonsault off the top again to the table on the outside. But Becky says, fuck no. Sits up, power bombs to the table, and get this. So this is the finish. And the referee is counting 9. And Charlotte, she gets up on both feet, but she's like leaning over, so she's like her hands are on the ground, but she's on both feet. But then the referee counts 10. It's like, so the time Charlotte was actually down, you stopped. But by the time Charlotte actually came up, you decided to keep counting. They fucked that up. It's just like, oh, come on, like. I don't know if it was referee or Charlotte. I don't know if Charlotte's stupid and she don't know how to stay down or what, but that was another thing that was irritating. Not only the miscues, but they just had to make Charlotte look so fucking strong. They had to make sure she looked absolutely amazing. They had to, there was, you know, even the finish where Charlotte was basically standing up and she pretty much, you know, she stood up, but the referee still counted 10, and she kind of like fell down to, you know, try to make her look like she was still fighting until the very end. I don't know. It was so infuriating to see how much they try to protect Charlotte. It really is infuriating, but Becky Lynch retains, thankfully, and like I said, I still thought it was a fantastic match, minus the handful of botches, the miscommunications with the counting and whatnot. I still thought it was a fantastic last one standing match. Becky Lynch still the SmackDown Women's Champion. Great stuff. Really enjoyed that match. Like I said, match of the year contender and definitely match of the night. And then, of course, from there on, we go to the main event, which was the Raw Women's Championship match. Ronda Rousey defending against Nikki Bella. It wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't a great match. It was a good main event. I enjoyed it for what it was. Right from the get-go, though, Ronda Rousey could have easily squashed her. She proved like 6 times that she could have locked in the armbar on Nikki, but she kind of was like, nah, I'm just going to toy around with you, because why not? And then, you know, Brie got involved a handful of times. She pushed Ronda into the barricade, or not the barricade, to the post. She actually ended up hitting her with the forearm towards the end of the match. Nikki Bella ended up hitting an Alabama Slam. Nikki got, you know, some offense in, and she ended up hitting a Rocket Attack 2.0 on Ronda, which Ronda kicked out of. Ronda looked pissed. Nikki went to the top rope, and she actually cut off Nikki and, like, did her armbar rotation, where she, like, rotates into the armbar off the top rope, which actually looked pretty impressive. The landing looked really rough, but the way she did it looked pretty badass, to be perfectly honest. So she does the transition into the armbar, and then, of course, Nikki immediately taps out. So Ronda Rousey retains the Raw Women's Championship against Nikki Bella. Like I said, it was a good match for what it was. You know, it was very dominant from Ronda. Then it kind of came 50-50. You know, Nikki started getting some good offense in. There's a point where they actually have, and this kind of like didn't piss me off, but it kind of made me roll my eyes. They made it where Ronda was like running from Nikki at one point. Like she was actually scared and intimidated from Nikki. I'm like, come on, you're Ronda fucking Rousey. Why are you running from a diva? It's like, come on. I don't know. I wasn't buying it, but they try to make Nikki look believable against Ronda, even though she clearly wasn't. But it was a good main event. You know, I enjoyed it for what it was. Definitely enjoyed this match more than the matches Ronda had with Alexa Bliss. And that concludes the pay-per-view. Of course, Ronda went to the ramp. All the women were on the stage to kind of celebrate what this show was. And that was pretty much what the pay-per-view ended up the air. And, of course, we had a video package of highlights for the show as well, because they were treating it like it was WrestleMania, of course. So that'll do it for my WWE Evolution 2018 review. Like I said, this is the first ever all-women's pay-per-view event. You know, like I said, a lot of mixed reviews. People loved it, people hated it. I'm in the middle. I thought it was good for what it was. It just, I don't know, it's too inconsistent for me. Like it went from something I enjoyed to something I hated, to something I enjoyed to something I hated. I didn't like the inconsistency of it. I wish if it was like all bad then all great, then maybe I would have my opinion changed on it, especially the filler stuff, like the multiple video packages and just the women getting their entrance for the Battle Royals, or prolonging, you know, post-match celebrations for no apparent reason. I just feel like that all just didn't benefit the show at all. And I don't know, like I said, it was just a very weird show to me, because there's stuff I enjoyed, but at the same time there's stuff I didn't like at all. So I don't know, it was just a very odd show for me to feel. And like I said, I didn't come out of the show feeling happy enough to say that it was a great show. I was pleased with it for the most part. That was a good show, but I wasn't like a big smile on my face like that was a damn great show. So that's just me personally. Of course, everyone's opinions are different, and that's what makes us all different. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please like below. If you guys like, feel free to leave your guys' thoughts on Evolution, your guys' self, in the comment section, because like I said, I know a lot of people have a lot of mixed reactions, so I'd be very happy to hear everyone else's opinion on the show as well. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, like I said, once again, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching the video.